Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of our tutorial for FreelanceOS. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about our customization section. So to get to the customization section, you can go over to the left panel here and click customization. And we're able to configure a lot of things that we were already able to do on onboarding. But if you didn't do that during that stage or you skipped it, you can come back to this and do it later. So if I want to go back to dark mode, for example, we can configure the settings here. But a few other customization areas which maybe we didn't discuss last time was the brief questions. And I quickly showed this in the project creation video, and we were able to enter some information about the brief. And if I wanted to configure some of those questions, or make them a little bit more relevant to my business. For example, new feature requests might not be relevant to a coaching freelancer. So here I might say, how many participants are there in the group? So just sort of questions that you may ask your clients that you may want to keep track of here. And any which you do not want to show, you can disable those. So if you only wanted to have 3 questions, you can just toggle those ones off. But yeah, we can configure these exactly to the brief and the brief questions that you're trying to capture. So I can save these changes here. And then we can also configure the Kanban columns. So I showed the Kanban page earlier, but those columns can be customized here. You can rename them. You can change the order. So instead of having in design, it might be more relevant for me to have an in progress column and then move that over to awaiting payment once it's done. And then we can have a paid column and then finally done. In fact, maybe we don't need done. If it's paid, it could be marked as done. So we can remove that one if we don't need it. So we can completely configure our Kanban board. If I now save that, I can go back to my Kanban. And now I can see we only have 4 columns. And I can also add in a new column here as well. I can customize it here and also drag certain columns in the right order. But yes, we have completely customized this page here. And also if I go back to a project now, let's open up this one, we can see in the brief section, it's also configured the questions that we have in our brief. So back in the one here, we can say, okay, Kanban, we also have pipeline columns. And we already set this one up during the onboarding phase, so we don't need to customize that one further. But if we wanted to change a few things afterwards, we can do that. Now, client fields, once again, we did this during the onboarding, but if there was a field which you forgot to add, you can go down here and we can click Add Field. And we're able to add an additional field that we want to track during the setup. And finally, you can also customize your project fields. So within the project page, if I wanted to add in additional fields such as services, which is one that we added earlier, we can add the different services that we have. But we can also customize if that is a required field. If you want to make sure that it's always mandatory during the setup, you can toggle that as required. And if you only want it to show on update, so you add it later, we can also set it up to only show on the update page. So you can fully customize the fields here. So I'm going to save those changes. And now that will appear within my update page, and all of these customizations will be applied to your workspace.